Yeah, so learning wise, like today is the first class from where we are starting our learning journey. So we'll start with the functional part, like there will be multiple module wise learning. First, we'll start with the functional part, functional testing part, that is mostly like a manual testing. And then we'll go further and we'll learn like programming language and SQL. Then automation will also touch like Selenium and mobile automation like APM and all. So all these things we will be learning going further. So today what we are going to discuss is here. So these topics we will be discussing today, and if you guys will feel any doubt in between, please try to interrupt me. So do you guys have a knowledge like what exactly the software is, and in terms of software, what do you know actually? I just want to know like little bit how much you guys have understanding on it. Anyone who knows? Okay, no issue. Okay, I'll take. So software means like in our day-to-day life, like whatever we use, like in terms of application, all are software. So if you are paying some amount with the help of some app, like a money transfer app, also we are using, and while payment also we are using some app. In day-to-day life, like we are using some uh, like some application like Facebook is there, WhatsApp is there, and for like purchasing something we are using some applications. So all the applications are nothing but the software. So software in the sense like there will be then some piece of code which we used to write like in our IDE, or the different kinds of IDs also available. So I'll not go in depth now. So I'll just give you the like overview what we are going to discuss, and then slide by slide we will be learning. So here we will today we will be learning like software, what exactly the software is, and in terms of software, what quality we need to maintain, and how we can say like the quality of the software is good. So that comes on the that comes once we start debugging and analyzing what actually the failure and bug count of bugs are there. And also going further, we will be discussing what exactly the models we follow to create or to develop the software, that is nothing but the SDLC model. And once we'll discuss this, we'll come to know the actual difference between QA and QC. So these are all nothing but the roles. QA and QC is the role which is available in the market. And then we'll go and discuss like testing classification and the definitions. And then once we'll end this, we will be having the clear idea on the test data and the test case, test scenarios. All these are the test documents. So this test data, test case, test plan, test scripts, these are all the part of test document. And in terms of software, once the defects are coming, there might be the multiple defects which we are assigning to developer, and they might get confused which to pick first. So in terms of that, like we have a priority and severity concept. And to file the bugs, there is some process which we need to follow as a tester, that is nothing but the bug life cycle. And to write the test cases during the testing phase, we might miss some cases. So to like check how many cases we have written against the module, and which module we have not picked, which component we have not picked or we missed. So to check that, we have a RTM, so reverse traceability matrix, which helps us to give the idea on the test case writing module wise. If we have missed something, we can directly highlight, we can get the idea from here. Now, in terms of tool, like Jira tool is the very famous tool which we use like in our day-to-day life. So what exactly it is, I'll touch it once I'll go there. So yeah, so this is the today's agenda we will be covering. Okay, so we'll start with the first part, what exactly the software is. So as I said, like software is nothing but the kind of applications which we are using. So very small example, like for calculating the numbers we use calculator, right? So when we suppose when we are typing 2 or 2 and 2 plus 3, what the output will come? 5. So how it's happening? There will be some piece of code which is written, which are accepting the user input, and at the end what it is doing, it is combining, like it is applying the logic of addition and adding two numbers. So as a user we are not able to see like what exactly is happening in the back end. So that is nothing but the piece of code which developer has written. On the GUI, what we are seeing the output. So this is nothing but the small example of software. So software is the piece of code which helps to perform some action. So addition is a kind of action which we are expecting, and we are assuming whatever output will come, whether it is correct or not. So this is a kind of software, like we are using our like desktop or laptop. So we are using operating system inside that, right? So that is nothing but the piece of code which is working backend, and we are not able to see, but yeah, we know just like what exactly the software is and how it works, what exactly the operating system is and how it works. So this is also a kind of software. So software in the simple term, the piece of code, nothing else. Piece of code which developer has written to perform some action, to perform some logical operation and provide us the output. That's it. Okay. Now, there are the different types of software which you are saying here, like system software, programming software, application software. So these are all the types of software, but the actual agenda is like the piece of code which we have written to perform certain action, and whether it is the operating system, compiler, debugger, or all the video games and all kind of games which we are using, and all the applications which we are downloading from Play Store or from App Store, all are the softwares. Okay. And in IT terms we use the multiple terms, not only the software. We use like product, we use the term like build, we use the term like piece of code. So all are software only. So if you are hearing, if you are sorry, if you are hearing the term application, if you are hearing the term build, if you are hearing the term product, all are software only. So please don't be in confusion mode. All the terms are same only. Okay, great. Now, the second term is product versus project. So before going in depth, I would like to listen like, do you guys know what exactly the service and product based companies are? What is the difference between these two? Yes, no. No, if you guys are not aware, then that is also fine. But at least tell me like, okay, I'm not aware, then I will like proceed from there. Oka, Vinita, Tori, anyone having any idea on product and service based company? What exactly it does? So
Uh,
actually, yeah,
sorry to
yeah.
sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt, Mithilesh. So it's my request to everyone, like Vinita, Tori, and Uka. Please make the session interactive. As I have already told you in my session also that please make the session interactive so that you can get the maximum benefit from the trainer from the session, right? So if you like if you give the answer or give if you give your thoughts, that will give more clarity to Mithilesh and me as well, about the topic where you are not understanding, where you are understanding, like that, right, Vinita,
But
Tori,
I would
Uka?
I would
Yeah,
say
so
project
make the
is
session interactive. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, this will helpful. If suppose if you guys are not able to hear me also, if suppose you guys will be on mute and I'm just keeps on talking, so I will not get to know like whether like it got interrupted in between or not. So better if suppose you guys are not able to speak, just type here like yes, no, so that it will be more interactive and I will go from there. Okay. So it's
Okay.
okay if you are not aware because here we are to learn together, right? So if you are not aware with any small topic also, it's fine. If I'll get the answer no or yes, then I will get to know, okay, I will start like giving the more examples on that, right? So it should not be like just I'm only telling and you guys are noting down, that's it. So it's not gonna help in the further classes, right? In the further process. Fine. So product versus project. So before that, I would like to say like what exactly the service and product based companies. So service based company in the sense like in the IT market, you might have heard this term like this is the service based company, this is product based company. So the service based in the sense like if suppose I am a company and I have some customer in the sense I am creating some product. Suppose Uka is a customer and Uka is coming to me and saying like, hey boss, I want a one product for my grocery shop and that product should work like this. So he is giving me the requirement like I need to store my customer details, which customer has the which customers has expended more amount with me and what is the products which the customer has purchased throughout the month or throughout the year. All details I want to store in that application, and at the end I want to give the benefit of like a rewards point or something to that customer. So he is giving me the kind of requirement, and as a company owner I will take the all requirement and I will try to create the same product, and at the end I will hand over it to him. So what exactly I'm doing, I'm getting the requirement from a person, and at the end I have a someone who can verify like what exactly I'm building. So this is nothing but the example of the service based company where you have a customer and you are trying to deliver a product. Okay. And in case of product based company, there will be no specific customer sorry. So there will be no any specific customer to whom we are delivering our product. So let's say the example of this calculator only. So calculator is not built for the specific customer, like not only for me, not only for you, not only for Naveen. It's common for everyone, right? So the product which is not specific for a specific organization, a specific person, it's common for everyone. That kind of product is known as the sorry, allow me 1 minute. Yeah. Yeah. So the product which is common for everyone, where the end users are gonna test the application in the sense use the application. That kind of product is made by the company known as the product-based company. Okay, Amazon is the good example. So Amazon is not built only for me, only for you. It's common for everyone. It's a well-known e-commerce, right? E-commerce platform. It's a well-known application. So that is built on the behalf of all the users. So that kind of projects is built by the companies known as the product-based company. Or if the some software is going to build only for a specific customer, specific organization, that is known as the service based company. So here I hope you guys are clear what exactly the service based company and what exactly the product based company. Now I'll come to the topic, what is product versus project. So project is nothing but the service based company taking the requirement and building the software for the specific uh, organization. Or I just took the example of the grocery shop like. So here we have the kind of understanding, we have the end user or we have the customer who can test at the end like, okay, this application is working as expected, now I'm gonna take it. Okay. And the question will come then, how the product based company will come to know like whatever I am developing, is correct or not, and who gonna test at the end. Because in the project or in the service based company, there will be the customer who can test and say like, okay, it is developed as expected. But in kind of product based company, there is no one, right? So the term like beta testing we used to introduce here. So I think you guys will be wearing like so many apps you guys will be hearing, and once you are trying to download it from the Play Store or App Store, so you will get the notification like it's a kind of beta app. I think you would have heard like you would have seen like this is the beta kind of app. So beta app is the nothing but the under development app which is not fully released on the production. So that app is meant like you guys will download it from there, and you guys will start using. So once you will use, and you will get to know like, okay, this application is working as expected, or it is meeting my goals, that's fine. If not, you will be giving your comments. Hey, this feature is missing here, and this icon is very large, or something. Like you guys will be giving your output. So that will act as a like input to the product based company. So company will take the all the comments and all your feedbacks, and will start from there, and they will start enhancing the features. So this is nothing but the kind of testing we are doing as an end user. So this kind of testing is the beta testing, which helps the product based company to know to come to know like what exactly I have developed, how the end users liking this product. If not, what else we can improve in that project or in that software, so that people will be liking more. Okay, so now I hope I'm clear with this product and project. Project is like a terms of a soft service based company, and product means the kind of software which is product based company is going to develop. Okay, any doubt here? Like, I hope you guys are clear.
Nope, it's clear.
Yes.
Great, thanks. Okay. Okay, so now we'll come on the software quality part. So as I said, like software is nothing but the piece of code which we are writing. So definitely if we are writing the code, or suppose think in that way, like as a customer you are coming to me, and I am owning one company, and I am taking the requirement from you, and you are saying like, okay, I need this project within 2 months, or some timeline you are giving. Okay, and I am start or I have started working on it, and I said like, okay, by end of the month I will give you the like I will give you the software which has the feature, which will be having the feature which you have discussed right now. And on the basis of your feedback, again I will be trying to enhance the more features which is not the part of the current application, and will try to hand over it by the end of your timeline. So in terms of software quality, what we need to see, like how many bugs are there, how many bugs we have encountered during our software development cycle. Okay, so bug in the sense like, suppose as a developer I'm writing the code, and I have missed something. Like if suppose I have missed some piece of code, or something which I have not able to recall at that time, and I missed it. So that will comes as a bug. So just take the small example of the calculator. So suppose if I have built the application of calculator, and my purpose was to add two number. I'm adding 2 plus 3, it's 5. But what if I just created that calculator for the integer number? If I'm giving some other like other data type, like suppose 2.0 I'm giving, plus 5.0. Okay, and at that time it is not giving me output 7.0. That means it's not working for all kind of inputs, right? So that might be happen like a developer has developed only for the specific data type which I am giving, like only for integer. Okay, so this kind of small mistakes might happen during the development of the project. Okay, and that might impact the quality of the software. Quality means like how good the software is in terms of like performance, in terms of like reaching the expectation of the customer. You will have your expectations ready, like what exactly you wanted to get from this application. At the end, you are gonna verify it whether it is happening or not. Okay, that means you are verifying the quality of the software. Okay, now delivery delivered on time. Obviously, like if you have given the timeline and like that timeline is meeting from the company end or not, whether I'm able to give you the product within the timeline or not. So that also matters in terms of quality. And obviously budget also, because you suppose you are giving me the requirement, you are giving me like a project to develop, definitely you will have some budget. That also depends. And meets requirements and expectations. As I said, like we have to like check whether the expected results we are getting from the software or not. And maintainable in the sense, like obviously once I'll deliver the project to you, I have to maintain, or maintenance wise, like I have to check if something is not going to work in future also, I have to give the support to make it like, or to make it like work as expected. So these all things are helpful to create a good software, quality software. If anything is missing, the quality might impact. So quality does not mean like only for the stable project. Stability is a one part, but a part of it, every aspect we need to think of, like what exactly the timeline, what is budget, how we are going to maintain in futures. So these terms are capable to tell you what exactly the software quality is for your project, handover project. Okay, great. So next term is like error, bug, and failure. Error, bug, and failure, as I said, like if suppose we are developing the project, definitely developer might miss something in between, and that is nothing but the kind of defects or bug you can say. And that bug has been introduced in the IT with the with the terms like error, bug, failure. So all these terms are same only, but what is the difference? Why we used to say error? Why we used to say bug? Why we used to say failure? Okay, so in an IT organization, there will be like software. Sorry, there will be different management guys. Like there will be the product manager. There will be like a project manager. There will be testers, developer, and at the end we will be having the customer, right? So these terms used to spell out by the different people. So as a developer, if I am developing and I got to know like, okay, my software is, or my application is, my build is not working as expected, so they will use the term like error. So error is the term which is mostly used by the developer while writing the code. Okay, defect and bug. Defect and bug is mainly the same thing. Like error means defect also, bug also, failure also, but this term defect and bug is mostly used by the testers while testing the application. Testing the application which is developed by the developer, tester will come to know, okay, this is not working as expected. So here tester will work as a customer, as an end user. Okay, because before delivering the project to you, who has given me the requirement, I have to test it whether it's working as expected or not. So from the company end, tester will act as a end user or the customer and will test the application. So that time they will be using the term like defect or bug. Failure is nothing but once the customer is happy to take the application, that time customer will be doing the one round of testing of that application whether it's working as expected or not. And suppose if it is not working, some feature developer has missed and it is introduced by the customer, that time customer will use to tell the term like failure. Failure in the sense it's not working as expected, how I was expected. Okay, so don't be confused with these terms. Error, bug, failure, all is the common term, and the simple meaning is if there is any any misbehavior in the software which is not gonna give you the correct result and which is not meeting your expected result is nothing but the error or bug or failure. Okay, till now any doubt you guys?
Nope, we're following.
No.
Great. Okay, Tori, you are able to hear me, or is there any like network issue or anything from your end? Okay, not sure. Like, if I'm audible, then you can just type it here, yes, because I think like you are not. Yeah, so I think like you are not able to hear me. Okay, anything recording is, I think a recording is there. If
Yes, yes.
he has some issue, he can
You are
just
audible,
take.
Mitresh.
Yes, okay, not an issue. Fine, we'll move further. So till now, what we discussed, what exactly the software is, and who will give the requirement for the software, which kind of company exists in the market, what exactly the term project and product is, and if we are creating the project or product, what exactly the quality means, and to maintain the quality, what parameters we have to take in our mind, and also what is the term error, bug, and failure in terms of software development. Okay, now we will be having this topic like why there are bugs in software. Okay, this is a good point, because suppose as a customer you are giving me the requirement and I'm noting it down, right? And I have the requirement and I'm starting with the development part, right? So definitely like I will be have a clear understanding whatever you have you have given the terms of requirement, then why bug will come. Okay, so I have given you the example of the calculator. So this might be the very small project, but in IT we don't have a kind of like only small projects. There will be the big, there will be like huge projects which will take like not a month or 2 months, which might take more than a year, more than 2 years, or some long projects also. So the complexity will be there, and in terms of requirement, customer also is not clear like what exactly the expectations is sometime. Okay, and he will be giving the requirement in terms of chunks, like today I have given you some requirement, after 1 month I have given you some more requirement. So in that way, if suppose we are getting the requirements, we might miss some requirement, right? So there might be possibilities like we are not able to get your terms, and we have developed whatever is my understanding is, and in that way I missed some features which might be the minor, and that might be like introduced by the testers, or at the end you or at the end like by the customer. So in that is, so in 1 minute guys, 1 minute, I'm getting on call, 1 minute. Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Yeah. So here what we are discussing, like, yeah, so in terms of like software, we might get a little bit little bit confusion in between, like in terms of like understanding, and we might miss some features during the development. That is the biggest reason like why bugs comes. Okay, if the complex projects are there, definitely we might miss something in between, and development wise we might miss like why we might miss it. Okay, so if I'm saying like development wise, that means what? That means developer is writing the code to meet the expectations of the end users. Okay, if I'm developing the software, that means I'm writing the code. Okay, software in the like in the backend, definitely there will be code only who is going to perform the actions based on your requirement. Okay, so I might miss something. So if you guys having the knowledge of like Java or any programming language, suppose if you are writing the code, sometime it works, but sometime it works only for the one input. If you are giving the other input, same product will, or same software or same piece of code will not work, right? So why it happens, like we miss the actual requirement, what actually the requirement is, and we just focus on the specific input, and we used to produce the output. Okay, so we as an end user this might get encountered by the customer. So what developer should do, he should think on the, the customer perspective while creating the project, and take the requirement and analyze the requirement better way, so that this bug will not be coming. Okay, so here I have mentioned some terms, some points like software complexity, programming error, changing requirements, lack of skills of testers. So software complexity, as I said, like there might be the complex projects where the developer might miss the some software understanding, some requirement understanding. Programming error in the sense, definitely like if the developer is writing the program, and he might use or she might use the different programming language like Java and Python also, and whatever programming language they are using, there might be some error. Okay, and this error might be in terms of code also, this might be in terms of using some other packages, libraries, utils, whatever. Okay, and don't worry with these terms, because once we'll start with the programming part, we will be knowing like what exactly this error, what exactly the compiler debugger means. Okay, and changing requirements, as I said, like if there is a project which is going to take a huge time, so that time we will be getting the requirements in forms of chunks from the end user or from the customer. So that time I might miss something, because if it is not coming like at once, like if it is not coming at once, if it is coming in forms of like a small chunks of requirements, we might miss in between. And at the end, like lack of skills tester. So lack of skill testers means, suppose if software is developed and we are gonna test it. Okay, so at the end, like tester only who is giving the confirmation of the software, like okay, it is working as expected, then only it's gonna it's gonna be on production, or better to say, it's we are gonna give it to customer, right? So lack of skill tester means, if as a tester I have understanding of requirement in some different aspect. Okay, and I also might miss some requirement which is given by the customer. So testers understanding, if it is not correct, definitely the testing is not gonna be smooth. Okay, so these are the few areas where we need to take care if we want not to produce more bugs during our testing phase or development phase. Okay, okay, so now, as of now, we got to know like what exactly the software is and who is gonna develop. Okay, but you should know one term, actually product and service, which I have discussed, right? But there you have to think on one point, like who is gonna take the requirement, because suppose I'm owning the company, and you guys are coming to me and you guys are telling like, I have this requirement, can you please convert it into the software and give it to me? So suppose if I am a developer, definitely I might not the correct person to take the requirement, right? So what I'm trying to say here, there should be a specific person who should take the requirement. No, like it's not like anyone can go and take the requirement from the customer and start developing from there. So there is a small process in the sense, like there is a specific person who can only take the requirement, and that is known as the business analyst in terms of service based company. Okay, so in the service based company, the business analyst is one of the person who can only get the requirement from the customer, because he has experience in that domain only, like how to get the requirement and which are all questions that guy have to ask to the end users while collecting the requirements. So that is only for the business analyst guy. Again, what happens in the terms of product based company? Product based company will have the product analyst. So like that, in the service based company, we have a BA, business analyst, in product based company we have a PA, like product analyst. So these guys will be taking or collecting the requirement from the customers, and again, like there will be process that that requirement will be again getting converted into the high level design, then low level design, then it will come to the developer, then it will go for the testing phase to the tester, then it will again start will start revisiting the different features whether the bugs are there or not. Once tester will give the confirmation, that is gonna live. Okay, so this is nothing but the small process which we need to take care throughout our the development journey. That is only the software development life cycle. Okay, so SDLC means software development life cycle. There is a small process which company needs to take care while developing the entire software. Okay, that is only the SDLC. So as I said, like we have a different stages like design and then develop and then test. So here I can write here. So what are all the phases? I think 2 3 points I can add it here more, like what happens. Uh, First is like requirement, and then second is like feasibility test, third one like design, fourth one is testing, fifth one is installation, and final is maintenance. Okay, I'll just like this. Okay, so here what I have written here. So every project will start with collecting the requirements, which business analyst will take care and will collect the requirement from the customer. Then the feasibility test, nothing but like once the business analyst will come to the company and will say, hey boss, this is the requirement which I have collected. Now we have to think like whether as a company, okay, as a company I'm thinking like whether I am able to develop it or not, because definitely end user will not be having that much idea what can be developed or what cannot. Okay, I have a requirement I have given to the company. Now company have to think whether I will be able to develop it or not, whether it is feasible or not. Okay, then only like the development process will go further. So feasibility test will be there from the management side. Management in the sense there will be the product manager, there will be the lead of the entire QA process. They will be sitting together and doing the analysis whether it is feasible or not. Once that is done, the design will be taken care by the designer. Design in the sense like there will be the high level and low level design of any project. Without design it's very difficult to understand. Okay, so design in the sense like the flow of the application, from where we are starting our from where we are starting, how the data flow is happening between the modules, between the components of the project. Okay, these all understanding we will be explaining in the high level design and low level design. Once the design is ready, developer will take that design and will start developing based on that, and the tester also will take that design and will start writing the test cases parallelly. So developer will be developing the feature, tester will be writing the test cases for that feature, and at the end, once the development is done, tester will start testing the application based on the test cases which tester has written. Okay, once everything goes smooth and testing is also done, installation will take care by the installation team, or you can say like there is the different terms for this, like different companies use the tech ops team, different company maintain this process. Sorry. So different company maintain this process internally, like devs also used to pitch into and do the installation process. So this installation is nothing but the installing the application on the server. That server might be like if you are the product based company, definitely that server will be the common for all the end users and will be storing somewhere. So if you are not aware with the term server, server is nothing but the some point. You can think in that way, like the some repository where I'm storing. Suppose this recording is going to store somewhere from where you all can access. Okay, so that is nothing but the kind of server for you guys. So all can access from there. So like that, project also needs to be some place from where users can access it. So that is nothing but the server. And maintenance in the sense, again, if I have delivered one project, suppose Amazon is the product which is delivered, there will be small changes in between coming, right? And we have to check the compatibility, whether whatever we have developed yearly, it is not going to impact with the new implementation. So that, for that, maintenance is required, right? We are maintaining like whatever developed software we have and whatever we are going to develop, all should be in sync. Okay, so this is the SDLC process. And again, like SDLC process, if I'm saying, there are different SDLC models which company used to adopt. Okay, there are waterfall model, agile model. So these two models are the very useful model, and most of the companies use this. So I will not go for other models because we have some more models like spiral model, V model, and these models we are not using nowadays because agile model is one of the well-known model which most of the companies are using. So we'll be focusing on the agile model here. Okay, so waterfall models, as I said, like requirement analysis, then system design, implementation, testing, and deployment, maintenance. These are all nothing but this phases which I have mentioned here. These phases only are maintained here. So this is the SDLC model which company used to take care while developing the software. So again, requirement collection, feasibility test, then designing, then implementation. Implementation is nothing but like developer will be implementing the feature based on the low level, high level design. Okay, and then testing, development, and then maintenance. Why this model is waterfall model? Because obviously if there is name waterfall, there will be some meaning, right? Why only waterfall? On waterfall model we are spelling it out here, why not some other? So if you will see here, it's a sequential process. So once the requirement analysis is done, then only we can go and start designing it. It's not like we can design first, implement, then we can start analyzing the requirement. It will not work, right? So it's a sequential process. Each each model here, suppose requirement analysis is one model, this will give you the output. That output will work as an input for the system design. Okay, let's say the example, like I have the requirement from a company like who want to develop a one software, and I have gone through all the requirements and the requirement analysis is done. Then I at the end I came to know, okay, requirement is fine, we can start like create the design of it. So the okay, sorry, I lost. Okay, I'm sorry, there is power cut. Am I audible? Actually, I connected with my mobile. Hello.
Yes, we
Yes,
can
I
hear you.
hear you.
Yes, Mithilesh. Yes.
Okay, okay. Sorry, actually there's power cut. Okay, great. Yeah, so what I was discussing, waterfall model in the sense like this is one of the model which we use to develop our software. So this is nothing but one of the SDLC model only. Why waterfall? Because if you will see, there is a sequence from the requirement collection to the maintenance. So this sequence will be like one module will act as an input. So output of one model will act as an input for other to the other model, and the it will be like if you will see the flow of water, it always happens from upper to lower, like from top to bottom. Like no one, I think no one would have seen like from bottom to top the flow of water, right? So obviously it will be like from top to bottom. So here also if you will see, first the requirement collection, then system design, then implementation. So it will be in the sequence and again in the flow of like a water from top to bottom. So that's why it's known as a waterfall model. Okay, and this model is not okay. So this model is not used by most of the company now, because the drawback of this model was, as I said, this is the sequential process, and once the first model is done, then only the second phase will be starting, right? So suppose, if what if we have made some mistake while at the time of requirement analysis. Okay, so requirement analysis, if there is some mistake, definitely if this is work as an input of system design, this error or this the bug will again proceed for the system design also. Okay, what I want to say here, like if we have some kind of understanding lag here in the requirement analysis, this might impact the system design also, because again this will act as an input to the system design. If we have not designed properly, definitely it will go and impact the development, and if the development is only not correct, testing also will not correct. So what we are seeing here, if one mistake we are doing in the initial phase, it's going to impact the other model, like other phases. Okay, so it is very difficult once we'll reach to the deployment stage and we came to know, like, oh, this mistake we have done at the initial, now we have to again revisit the application and revisit the code and change this implementation. So it's again the long process and again the time consuming process, right? So that's why, like, this model is not used for most of the company now. Some companies are using who has the like healthcare domain, and who has the application of you can say the healthcare application, like in the hospitals, and somewhere if they are using the healthcare application, they are also using, or the banking application is a good example there, this waterfall model works. But most of the company nowadays move to the agile model. So what benefit we are getting here, as I said, like here, if we are if we have the some error in the beginning, this is gonna impact the other phases. But what here, why this problem occurred, because the requirement collection is happening at once. Okay, so in waterfall model, we are collecting the requirement of the customer at once, not in forms of chunks. Okay, and in the agile model, the we have the the kind of process where we are adapting the requirement in forms of iteration. So I'm getting the small requirement from the user. I have started implementing it. At the end, if it works fine, I will show it to the customer. If customer will say, okay, this is working as expected, then again I will take the small requirement from the user, and again we'll start implementing that. And while integrating this second iteration code with the first iteration code, we'll make sure like all are working and all are in sync. Okay, so what benefit we are getting here? The benefit is, like, if suppose in the first iteration whatever we have developed that is not working as expected, we can look at and we can fix it. In the second iteration, again, if we have started implementing few things and if it is breaking the the whatever we have implemented previously, we can go and check and try to fix there only. And again, like, we will club our iteration 1 iteration 2 code together, and we'll see whether it is working properly or not. So in that way, like, we will be having the understanding where, in which phase our code is breaking, and we will make sure like it is not gonna impact our older implementation, and some feature if we are gonna integrate, that is not gonna impact. Okay, so in that way it will help. So these two models are very useful, and if you have any doubt till here, please ask now, because after that we'll move to the QA/QC process, which is again one of the good topic for the interviews. But yeah, most of the interviews, if you guys are giving this question, will be well known, like what is agile model, how it works, why people are using agile model nowadays. So you should be able to answer it in a clear way. I think I have given you the explanation as well. So any doubt if you guys have, can ask here. No doubt. Means all are clear.
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, if you guys are saying yes, then I will ask the question, one or two question. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so just now we explained agile model and the waterfall model. So can anyone see what is the basic difference? Like if suppose I am an interviewer and I am asking the question, what is the basic difference between these two model within one or two lines? How you will explain? Anyone like Vinita, Uka, Tori, anyone?
But I would say in the waterfall model, it flows in one direction. The stages don't overlap, but in agile model is iterative and stages overlap. So that means you can go between stages. You can go from one stage to the other and go back to effect a change and then go back to the to the other stage. But in waterfall, it's just one direction. If there is a mistake, you have to start all over again. That's what I think it is.
Correct. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. So whatever you said, it's absolutely correct. One small point I would like to add it here. So in waterfall model, as you said, like it is the one direction and the stages are not overlap. Yeah, it's correct. But one more point you can add it here, like the waterfall model. What I said, like the requirement collection will not be in forms of chunks. I'm getting the requirement, like entire requirement at once. So what will happen in that case, if I have the requirement of a huge project at once, I am understanding everything at a time and I am starting development. And if suppose in the later phase while testing or deployment, I came to know like I missed this specific, the feature, definitely it's gonna impact on, the company. So company in the sense like definitely budget wise it might increase because people have expended so much amount for this project, like to the developer, testers or other designers, and then the project manager will come to know like it's not gonna work as expected in future, and again I'm starting development from the scratch. It's like totally waste of money, waste of time and all, right? But here in the agile process, we are getting the requirement in forms of chunks. So suppose if there are 100 or 1,000 page requirement, I'm taking the first 10 page requirement and I'm just developing it. Okay, so in that way, what will happen if suppose some mistakes we have done, because in agile also the same phase like requirement analysis, design, implementation, testing, deployment, maintenance, all phase will be same only. But if we are finding any error or any like the bug in between, it will be very easy to go behind and the do the correction, because it will not be like that much impactful. So rather than analyzing 100 pages or 1,000 pages together and start development, it will better if we are analyzing 10 page and do the development. If something is failing, we can easily go and check. Okay, so this will be the easier process because it is iterative, and waterfall is, it will be like a sequential process, so it's very difficult to go back and do the changes. So your understanding is good. So as I said, you like explain it one or two lines, so that's why you have went in that approach. But yeah, understanding wise you have a good understanding. Yeah, great. Okay, great. So as I said, like next topic will be QA/QC. So before going to this topic, I will say like if you are attending any interview and if you are hearing the term, what is difference between QA/QC or verification validation or static or dynamic testing, all terms are same. QA versus QC, verification versus validation, and static versus dynamic, the meaning or the difference points will be same. Okay, so just understand what exactly the QA means, what exactly the QC means. QA means, suppose as I said, I have given you the requirement to develop a software. Okay, from the testing point of view, what you will be doing, as I said, like once the design is ready, what the designer will do, designer will create the design and hand over it to the the lower management like developer and tester. Now as a tester, I have a requirement, I have a design ready, so I have to write the test cases, because that design is nothing but the replica of the software which we are gonna take, which we are going to take from the developer side. So since development is in progress phase, we will have the replica of that software in terms of design. We can write our test cases based on that. Okay, so now writing the test cases is some process which we are doing before the development, or like parallel to the development. That is nothing but the QA. QA means the quality assurance. Quality assurance means how you will be assuring the quality of a software. So you will be writing the test cases. You will be having the proper documentation to verify it once the development is done. Okay, you will be having your test strategy ready. Your test plan is ready. So all these things which you are preparing before development phase is nothing but the quality assurance or verification, you can say. Okay, so if I'll go through the points, QA focus on building in quality, QA is preventing defects, QA is process oriented, or QA for entire life cycle. So these points, if you will say, QA focus on building in quality. How the QA will focus building the quality? Definitely, if I will write the test cases for each and every software component or module, I am ready to test the each and every feature. So the if the testing is done in the smoother way, quality will be maintained. Second is like QA is preventing defects. Obviously, if we have a proper test cases for every module, and I'm going to test the application with the help of that test case, we will be preventing the defects. So the purpose of test case is what? Test the application. Testing the application means what? Obviously, we are finding the bugs with the help of test cases, whether that bug is there or not. So how we will be ensuring? With the help of expected or actual result. Okay, so that will be maintained in the test case only. What is expected, what is our expected, on what is actual, based on that we are preventing the defects. QA process oriented, obviously process oriented, because for testing also there will be a one process. As I said, SDLC is the software development life cycle, is the development process. Similarly, we have a software testing life cycle, which will tell like what exactly the phases available in the testing. So testers also need to follow that process. I will tell you what exactly this process is, and not now, I will tell you in the further sessions like what exactly SDLC process. SDLC means software testing life cycle. Okay, on the other hand, if you will see, QC focus on the testing for quality. QC is detecting defects, QC is product oriented, QC for testing part in SDLC. So all these process will be taking care once the developed product is ready. Okay, so whatever we do before development of the project is the QA or verification. Whatever we do after development, that is the validation. So here also, if you will see, are you building it right? So how you will ensure this question, like are you building it right? So obviously based on the test cases only we can tell you like whether the test cases, in the sense, if you have a test cases and if you are testing the application with the help of test cases, then only you will come to know like development is correct or expected or not. Validation means have you built the right things? So have you built in the sense, like again, like the development is done, then we are validating the development with the help of test cases. Okay, so this validation will happen with the help of test cases after the development. Second is check whether in the artifacts conforms its previous artifact, and check the final product. Okay, here one term is used, SRS. So I have not introduced this term SRS, in the sense like SRS and CRS, these two terms we used to tell like during our you can say like our day-to-day life. Like if you are a IT guy, you or if you are a tester in the IT field, you will be hearing this SRC and CRC. Okay, so as I said, you like requirement collection. So requirement collection will be taken care by the business analyst in the services company. Okay, so again there is a format. It's not like one person is going with pen and paper and writing everything in forms of essay. Okay, so it's not gonna happen. There will be proper format to take the requirement from the customer. Okay, and that is nothing but the CRS. Okay, customer requirement specification. So the term which is used here is customer requirement specification, CRS, and then this CRS will be changed to the SRS. SRS means software requirement specification. So once the business analyst will collect the requirement, that will be in forms of CRS, customer requirement specification. Now the business analyst will convert it into the into the smoother, or you can say in the low level language or low level understandable language, so that the designer will understand what exactly the business analyst requirement says. Based on that, designer will start designing the low level high level design. So that is the SRS, software requirement specification, which will help designer to understand the requirement. Initially it will be in CRS form when the business analyst will collect it. Okay, so again, like as I said, like performed during quality assured, performed by the quality engineers, methods involves review, walkthrough. So these are all nothing but like if you will go through, you will come to know like this review, creating the test plan, creating the test case, and again, this is nothing but something which we are doing before developing the software. And once this is done, we are performing our different kind of testing based on this test case, based on our test scenarios. This is the validation part, or you can say the dynamic testing part. So here, if you will say it's a static in nature, that's why it's known as the static testing. This is dynamic in nature. That's why it's known as the validation. So dynamic in the sense, obviously, testing is not like something which is fixed, or this is the the defined thing. Functional, non-functional testing, or types of functional testing is something which depends upon the testers, how much experience they have and how they can test in a better way. So that process might be like dynamic, but obviously test cases will be static on with the help of which testing is going to happen. That's why test case and every documents which we are preparing earlier is the static. Okay, so any doubt till here?
I'm good.
Great.
No, no doubts.
Great, great. Okay, so am I going very fast or it's okay? Like speed wise, it's okay, right?
Yes,
It's
it's
okay.
okay to me.
Okay, Vinita, for you,
Yes, it's okay.
great. Okay, nice. Okay, so now we'll move to the other term. This is testing classification. Testing classification is nothing but the type of testing. How many type of testing we have? Okay, so here if you will say there are a lot, means so many types of testing. If you have gone through the any the JD, job description of testers, you might have heard these terms. Or suppose if you are searching the functional testing job, that there you suppose if you are going through the company website or any job description profile, you will be having this the terms like you should be very good in the functional testing, or kind of like a soft penetration testing, security testing, performance testing. So these are all the types of software. So if suppose someone will ask like how many types of testing we have, so we can't go and say like there are multiple types of testing like unit testing, integration, performance, security. No, if we will say like this, that means it sounds like you are not aware about the types of testing. So there is the hierarchy. We have two types of testing. So I will explain here. If you will say like functional, non-functional, I will split like furthermore, like let me type it here. So we have two types of testing. First one is like manual testing, and second is like a automation testing. Okay, so these two type of testing only we have. If anyone will ask how many types of testing we have a two type of testing: manual testing, automation testing. Okay, if suppose you want to explain more, like in depth you want to go, then the term will come. Okay, in the manual testing we have two more type of testing. That is, one is like functional testing, and second one is like non-functional testing. Okay, so directly we can't say like there are two type of testing: functional, non-functional. No, go step by step. We have a two type of testing: manual testing, automation testing. In manual testing we have a functional testing, and second one is the non-functional testing. Okay, now if you will go further, what else is there in the functional testing, then you will come to know in the functional testing we have a black box testing. Okay, second one is we have a white box testing, and third we have a gray box testing. Okay, so this is the functional testing term. Again, if you will go further and if you will explain like what exactly is there in the black box, okay, black box testing, then you will come to know all the functional, all the type of testing, whether it's unit testing, whether it's the integration testing, whether it's the end-to-end testing, which is known as the system testing. All type of testing is the black box testing. Okay, and I will not type like the type of black box testing here. I will explain with this slide. So this is just to give you the clear idea. Like we have a two type of testing: manual and automation. Manual we have functional, non-functional. Functional we have this black box, white box, gray box, and inside the black box we have the further few more type of testing. So in the functional, if you will see here, we have a unit testing, integration, system acceptance testing, and in non-functional we have a security, performance, usability, compatibility testing. Okay, and very important question you might encounter if you are giving the interview, like why the black box testing is known black box. Okay, because if there is a term, definitely there will be meaning, like why black box testing, why white box testing. Okay, so anyone having idea why black box testing is named so?
In black box testing, you don't have access to the source code.
Okay, great. Vinita, do you have any idea?
We just put test input and we analyze the output of the behavior.
Okay, great. So let me highlight here, like black box testing means, again, as Yuka said, like black box means if something which is not visible to me or visible to us. Okay, suppose developer has developed the entire software for us, for the tester, and tester now started testing the application based on the test cases which is already written. Okay, so now as a tester I will not be able to see what exactly code is written, because I will be having the GUI, right? And on the user interface I will be start testing based on our test cases, but what exactly code is there I am not able to see. So that is totally black for me, right? Black in the sense like not visible. Okay, so that's why it's a black box testing, because tester will not be able to see the code base. Okay, what is white box? White box means I think you would have heard the term unit testing. So what developer used to do, developer used to test the application before, or application, whenever I'm saying application, that means software only. Okay, so don't be confused. Software, and writing the program, all mean is software only. So if developer is writing the code or writing the the piece of code or developing the software, he can't blindly give it to us, right? Because definitely before that there should be one check whether the developed application is working as expected or not, right? So how the developer will be checking? Based on a unit test case. So unit test case is nothing but the test case which is the high level test case, which will tell you whether your developed code is working as expected or not. Okay, so that is written by the developer. So obviously if developer is testing his or her code, that means he will or she will be having clear idea or clear understanding of about the code, and they can access the code also, because obviously code testing is only doing there. So they will be having the clear understanding and visibility of the code, right? So that is nothing but the white box. White box in the sense something which is white, which is visible to us. Okay, so if developer is doing the unit testing, that is the white box testing. If tester is doing the testing of an application, that will be black box, because code access will not be there whatever is written. Okay, this terms came from there. And gray box is nothing, like it's a mix of white and black, because if someone who is doing the who is having the knowledge of the development, little bit development also, they can understand the code, they can do this gray box testing. Because nowadays I think, if you guys are aware or not, SDET is the role which is very popular in the market. Like, you will not be able to see like more manual jobs or only automation jobs. SDET job will be there more, which combines manual and automation. So if I'm telling automation, that means there will be some possibility of understanding of code from the tester side as well. So they can understand the code, so they will be having the programming knowledge as well as the functional knowledge. So they falls into this gray box kind of testing. They having a knowledge of both. Okay, now I think you have a good idea, and then I will start quickly explaining this few more type of testing quickly. Like unit testing, as I said, the if developer is testing their code and with the help of the unit test, that is the unit testing. And from our end also, for testers also, it's very important to test the each and every component of the application, and that is nothing but the unit testing. Unit testing, if tester is doing, that means it's a functionality part, means functionality testing is going on. If developer is doing, that means it's a it's a code based access or code based testing, which is happening from the developer end. Integration, in the sense, if we have a more than one module, then only this kind of testing we can perform. Okay, integration means one, if we have only the module which is having the sub components which is totally dependent to each other, then only we can go for with this testing. Okay, any random two modules, we can't say like it's an integration testing. If there is a dependency between two modules and data transfer is happening, then only we perform the integration testing between that modules. Okay, system testing, again, if we have multiple modules, like more than one modules. So more, again, modules in the sense, like if I'm taking the example of Gmail application, suppose. So in Gmail, what we have the compose, we have draft, we have send item, we have inbox. So all this is nothing but the modules. Okay, Gmail, entire Gmail is an application or software, but the modules in the sense, the inside sub features. So this compose, inbox, everything is nothing but the modules. And components, in the sense, if we will go in deeper, like in, suppose in the compose, if we will go inside, in compose we will be having attachment option, we will be having CC, we will be having like subject, subject box. All those are nothing but the component. Okay, so as I said, you like the high level design, low level design. High level design only will be considering the modules. Okay, modules, how the modules will work, how the data flow between the modules will happen. Okay, but if we are saying the low level design, that means we will be considering the components. Okay, components means deeper part, like one step below. Okay, so make sure like you are aware about the components, modules, or software. Okay, so if we are saying the system testing means we are considering each and every modules, like all the modules or more than 2 modules. If we are considering end-to-end test in our end-to-end testing, that is system testing. Acceptance testing is something which is uh, you can say like if the customer is there, like if we are in the agile phase, we are creating small chunk, small product, or the piece of code is ready, I am delivering it to the the customer and saying, hey, can you please check whether it's working as expected or not. And if once they will say like, okay, it's working as expected, we'll go for the next iteration. So this acceptance testing is nothing but accepting the product what is already developed by the user. Okay, now security performance, again, this is performance is nothing but the kind of a load testing or stress testing we are doing, like how much user can access the application at once. Because obviously if suppose in Amazon, if I'm taking the example, there is not 1 or 2 users every second hitting, right? Multiple users, thousands of users is hitting. So my application should not go down. Okay, it should behave as expected. So before that we need to do the performance testing with different kind of user, with the different number of users for the certain time. So that comes under the performance testing. Again, performance testing is defines multiple stages, like load testing, stress testing, volume testing, scalability testing again. So all does the same thing, but small differences are there. Like load testing, like multiple user for a certain time. Scalability testing means the multiple means variation of the users. Like suppose 1,000 users for 5 seconds, in for next 5 seconds there is the 5,000 users. So there will be variation of the users for a certain period of time to check the scalability. So if we are performing this kind of testing, it's a performance testing. Okay, again, usability testing again, it is nothing but the kind of the accessibility or exploratory testing. Means suppose you are the end user, I have created one project, I have created the suppose any application which is helpful for the chat, like Facebook is the one application, right? So suppose if tomorrow Facebook icon is changed from F to something else, suppose G. Okay, and if you will go to your app and will see like, okay, now the symbol is coming G. So again, in your mindset, Facebook means small f. Okay, because till today you have seen that only. Tomorrow onwards, if that is suppose that gets changed, it will again give you the the bad impact to the user, because user will not be familiar with that icon. That icon might tell you about like, this is not like expected one, or this is something which is not gonna like by the users. Because if you are in the market from the from past 1 or 2 decades, and if suppose you have impacted the users in that way, like they have started liking your project, your product, your the kind of components we are using, and suddenly if you are changing, it's not gonna maintain the same impact, right? So that kind of testing is the usability. Sometimes suppose what if like your login button of any application is very huge, it covers half of the screen. Okay, will it make sense? No, right? Because it will say like the developer or the company is not much experience of developing the project, because no one will develop the login button seems like the half covering half of the screen, right? So this kind of things like which tells like what user will be liking and how the user experience will be there with the while interacting the software. That kind of testing is known as the usability testing. Again, compatibility, in the sense we are checking the backward forward compatibility. As I said, like in the agile model, if we are writing the the development code, and in the iteration wise if we are writing few feature, so definitely we have to take care of the older development also. In iteration 1, whatever we have developed, that should not be impact. It not should be like, if I'm developing iteration 2 code that is started working, and previously code is breaking, that should not be happen. So backward compatibility also we have to check. That is nothing but the compatibility testing. Okay. So these are all the types of testing. If suppose interviewer is asking about the testing classification or type of testing, how you should start? You should start from here, like type of testing, and once you will reach to the black box testing, you can explain all this. So these are all the types of black box testing here. Okay. Okay, so I'll take this two more slides, like 14, 15, and then we'll like wrap up for today. And if any question you guys will have, definitely we'll try to answer it. Okay, so again, like unit testing, as I already said, unit testing is nothing but if the developer is doing, then it's kind of like a white box testing. Developer is testing whatever developed code is there, and tester if doing the unit testing, that means the component level or module level testing is yeah, is performing by the tester. So if I'll go through the codes here, like a unit is the smallest testable part of the software. Obviously it's a smallest part. As I said, like Gmail application, if we have a compose, inside that we have a attachment, so this attachment is nothing but the smallest part of the entire software, right? Entire application, like Gmail application. So if we are testing that specific feature, that is nothing but the unit, one unit of the application we are testing, right? And unit testing conducts on a single program, single module. Obviously, as I said, like that attachment is the single unit of a compose, not for the entire project. It's a smallest unit of a module, nothing but the compose is a module and attachment is a component. Okay, now unit testing is conducted by the developers. Okay, as I said, like if developer is doing the unit testing, that means basically in the market, the term we use like unit testing, it give you the sense of like developer testing only. Okay, so developer testing means developer only used to do this unit testing. Okay, but again, like testers also can do, but from the testing or from the software or from the application side, not from the code side. Okay, so don't be confused in that. Okay, so this is the last slide for today, like integration testing. Integration, again, as I said, like if we have the module where we have a dependency and we are testing those the modules together, and we are seeing whether the data transfer is there or not, data transfer is happening or not, then we are performing an integration. Again, like I want to highlight here, integration always means the transfer of the data. If there is no data transfer between two modules, it does not mean like we are doing the integration testing. Integration testing doesn't mean only the number of modules we are interacting. Okay, if there is more than one module, then only it's the integration testing. It's not going to happen. There should be data transfer between one module to other, then only integration testing will happen. Okay, let me spell it out. Okay, so let me go through the statement here. In integration testing, individual software modules are integrated logically and tested as a group. Obviously, as a group in the sense more than one modules. Integration testing focus on checking data communication. Obviously, as I said, there should be the data transfer, data communication, or else it's not an integration testing. Integrated testing is while white box testing. Integrated testing is white box testing technique. Okay, so what exactly it means, like integration testing, again, developer, if developer want to do the integration testing, they will have the code access and they will check like whether I have written this code, that code is working for the other implementation or not. That means suppose if I have a one code which is producing the output and the second code which expecting that output as an input, so that should work code wise also, right? So that kind of checks developer can do, and that is again the part of the integration testing. Okay, and here integrated testing is conducted by the developers. Again, if I'm saying the developer, conducted by developer, that means integration of the code they are checking. And if we are, as a tester, if we are testing the same implementation of the code, we will be doing the like the integration testing from the functional side or from testing side. Great. So yeah, I'm done for today. So I hope like you guys are understanding. And if anywhere suppose you guys are not understanding, and this recording will be there. So if you guys are going through again, and if you guys feeling like no, this topic is not much clear, I would like to take that topic with some different examples. So definitely I'm here to help you out. If somewhere you are feeling you are stuck in, just feel free to ask, reach out to me. I will more than happy to give you the answer or clarity on that. Okay. So yeah, this was a nice session, and tomorrow we'll start further from here, like till integration. If you have any doubt, you guys can note it out, and tomorrow we can discuss from like where we are ending now. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks.